Texting. We are live, America. We are back. You can't keep good men down, even when your mother doesn't take no for an answer. You're going to see me in 24 hours. Knock it off, Mom. For Christ's sake.
Sure you shouldn't pick up?
Nope. Yes, I'm pretty sure I shouldn't pick up. I butt dialed her by accident. Now she's... You must have... No. Didn't.
Now she's freaking out.
So anyway. Welcome back to the sack. It is a Wet My Whistle Weed Wednesday. None of that's happening tonight. The Redolzable one is setting a new tone on life, and I'm trying to comply. The highly questionable one. So I don't disagree. If there's no, I don't disagree. I do disagree. I don't disagree.
I think without all that stuff, you're marginally questionable, maybe?
No, I'm even more questionable.
Oh, that's true.
I'm questioning myself right now. Why am I not doing this?
We're both better people on it.
This is not good.
No, so it's not about being on it, because on it is great.
I know what happens, Tom. We have to explain
the ramifications
aftermath.
that come from.
Yes, you don't have the willpower to go to bed. I get it. So rather than go down the rabbit hole in which he will get stuck on the way to the pantry, there's no point.
I have the willpower to not do it.
Yeah. So, in any event, it is a Wet My Whistle Weed Wednesday.
It's a willpower Wednesday. That's what it is.
It's a weak-willed Wednesday. So we have a Super Bowl. It is not the Super Bowl America wanted. I don't know that I'm watching it. I'll be honest with you.
Oh, shut the hell up.
I'm not kidding. Want to bet? It's not the first Super Bowl I haven't watched. It's not even the second Super Bowl I haven't watched that I've been alive during. First one was Denver, Atlanta. Didn't care for it. Didn't watch it. And then the other one was Dallas, Pittsburgh. Didn't care for that one either. Didn't watch it down. So believe me, if I don't watch it, I'm not going to miss it. I hate both these teams. The only reason to watch it would be to root for Philly. Well,
it's disgusting.
No, it's not disgusting because they're. Here's the thing: if you want this GM, this is what you don't seem to get. The best way to get your GM fired is for SEG1, who, by the way, would have stayed and wanted to stay, would be for him to win this, because then you could actually start a petition and it will have legs. So
he's not gone now.
Yeah.
He's not.
I got news for you. I have a feeling that if Philly does win this Super Bowl, there's going to be some fire.
They're going to fire him now.
Firing. Why not?
It's late.
Why not?
It's late in the game.
You know who's rolling around out there with nothing to do? Scott Pioli, who's a hell of a GM. He is. Oh, please, what? The guy you have sucks, and you know it. If you could fire him tomorrow, you would.
I would have already fired him.
Okay, then.
This has nothing that happens from here on out is going to change.
Saquon wins. If Saquon wins a Super Bowl, it might.
You don't fire your GM.
Your GM sucks, donkey dick.
You don't fire him 3
it.
weeks after the season.
Why not?
Because that would be ridiculous.
Ridiculous is keeping him.
Exactly.
That's worse than fire. But I got news for you. If this were to happen, no one would question it.
Nobody would have questioned it.
And no one, if he does it the day of Super Bowl, no one will question it.
Yes,
They'll say, you know what they'll say? They'll say it's about time.
They'll say, why are you such an idiot?
No, you're not an idiot.
3 weeks.
You're going to waste another year with this guy.
Yeah, exactly.
He'll fuck it up. So I'd rather fire him now.
He's not getting fired.
Fire him now. If they win, he should get fired.
I agree.
Fire him.
He should have been fired. But it's not going to happen.
It's there on the tape.
Trying to convince me that I should be rooting for Philly so my GM gets fired is a joke, because he's not going to get fired.
He should get fired.
And I hate Philly. I'll never root for Philly.
Yeah, I'm rooting for Philly.
Fuck Philly.
Fuck the Chiefs and their fucking bullshit.
Fuck the Chiefs and
their ring. Fuck
I want to see a
bullshit. But the refs going to get a ring too?
I want to see a 3-peat.
Are the refs getting a ring too if they win? Are the refs getting a ring too?
I mean,
so Troy Aikman's making it up now, and all the refs in New York, they're all making it up. No, they didn't. No, this wasn't nowhere near this bad.
They brought cases against you about inflated balls.
Oh my God, that was bullshit. That was not true.
Exactly.
ESPN recanted the story.
It's all bullshit.
ESPN, no, the Chiefs thing is not bullshit. There's video on this crap.
The Spygate was bullshit.
He said
the balls was bullshit, but everybody tried to discount what they did.
Here's the problem. Here's the difference. They took that stuff away and the Patriots kept winning. I'll tell you what. Let's see if the refs can swallow the whistle and see if they can win without them. I'm waiting to see it.
Have the refs given them championships up to this point?
When your calls lead directly to points, and these are all one-score games, they affect the outcome of the game.
Dude, watch the Philly game. See how many calls went Philly's way in the last game. And the game before that.
That was a 55-23 rout. How many calls...
Dude, the game before that, opening kickoff is fumbled. One team recovers it, they give it to Philly.
Was that game close?
Opening kickoff.
Was the game close?
I can't even remember, actually.
It was.
Yes, it was. The Rams game was very close.
The Rams had the ball. Right. All right, hold on.
First play of that game, the kickoff is fumbled.
The Rams are on the 12-yard line, first down, to win it.
You can say the same thing about the Bills.
No, they weren't.
The Bills had 3 minutes left.
The Bills never got the ball back.
The Bills had the ball.
I'm saying,
and they blew it.
That touchdown shouldn't have happened.
What touchdown?
The one that he got that resulted in the fourth down that you claim he didn't get, but everybody else says he did get. He being Josh Allen.
But Josh Allen still had the ball with a chance to win with under 3 minutes. Same way Matt Stafford
They would not have been down. That score doesn't happen.
So if the Rams...
It led direct 5 plays later, Mahomes in the end zone.
If they don't give the ball to the Eagles on the first play of the game on a fumble, the Eagles don't score a touchdown from the 20-yard line.
The Eagles aren't guaranteed to score from the 20-yard line, just as the what's-their-names weren't guaranteed to score from the 12, the Rams.
Well, so you're saying the Chiefs were guaranteed to score from their own 30?
Patrick Mahomes you put Patrick Mahomes on your 30-yard line in his building? Yes, I would.
It wasn't your 30. It was his 30. They were on the other side of the 50.
The fourth down was on like the 50-yard line, midfield.
No, it was on the Chiefs' side. So Mahomes had to go the length of the field. Not
they
the
don't.
Length, but
it was 5 plays. He didn't throw a pass over 20 yards. How far was it?
The Bills shot themselves.
That drive never should have happened.
No, please.
No, I'm not the only one that thinks that.
I didn't think he got it.
I think he did get it, and the replay shows that he did.
Every time I see it, I'm like,
He is past. His whole body is past the line.
He's like, the ball is here, and he's
past.
Up.
His whole upper body, including the ball,
I didn't see it
is
that
past
way.
the line.
I didn't see it that way.
Well, a lot of experts disagree with you. So
these fucking guys blow a fucking 16-point lead. Now they're fucking down.
They were up 16.
Now they're down 8.
This game is in Madison Square Garden.
Nick's doing what they do best.
There goes Brunson. Layup. This is the third quarter. Relax. Denver is a good team, actually.
I know. I just hate how they go up and down so much.
Well, they are playing. He's probably the best player in the world, so it's not nobody that's doing this. But
they beat them by 30 in Denver.
Well, maybe that's why this game is close, because the Nuggets, who are a championship team, are pissed off. So, unlike the fucking Celtics, who don't know what that means. So, and there's a steal by OG. That's a breakaway foul.
Yes, there it is.
That should be a breakaway foul. Yes, they call
Beautiful.
it. So, unlike the Chiefs, this ref got it right. So, anyway, Philly, Kansas City. Again, on paper, the better team will not win, and it is Philly.
I kind of think they might win.
They should win by 2 touchdowns, but the refs won't allow it. They won't allow it. Here's the problem.
I don't think
every 50-50 call goes the Chiefs' way.
Not against the Eagles. The Eagles get all the calls too.
Well, then something's got to give, because hey, you know what? Philly didn't
I think
blow
they're
up.
Gonna swallow the whistle.
The KC didn't blow up Buffalo 55-23. So it was a 3-point game. So, and that one possession was everything.
But that game turned into that in the second half. It wasn't that.
It was 21. The biggest lead they had was 21-10, and Buffalo was ahead 2-10.
I'm talking about the Eagles game.
No, that game was
close in the first half, and Washington just kept shitting on themselves.
They kept turning the ball over.
Yeah, they were shitting on themselves.
Well, Buffalo didn't really turn the ball over.
Josh Allen did not play well.
What are you talking about?
He comes out.
His first drive.
That first drive, I don't know what he was doing.
He wet himself. But after that, he settled down. The first drive, I agree. Yeah. He wet himself. I was saying it. He was loafing all over.
Well, it was like the first 2 passes he threw. It was like, what are you doing?
Both should have been picked off.
Both should have been picked.
Both should have been picked off. But after that, and they punted, by the way. They got nothing on the first drive. Yeah. So it wasn't like they scored. But after that, he settled down.
The other thing that threw me off is the consistent, inability to run a tush push with a giant quarterback.
Well, here's the problem with that.
He kept moving, instead of just.
Here's the problem with the Bills. If you want to point to something other than the refs, start with the Bills' offensive coordinator. Because honestly,
he made some mistakes.
If the whole world knows it's coming,
and you can't run it as good as Philly,
you can't run it as good as Philly. You know what you could do? You could put them in the shotgun, and then have a sprint draw option. Which, by the way, the touchdown they scored, what did they do?
Off a Cook.
It was a sprint draw option pitch. You could do that. You don't got to keep going
James
to the
Cook was running against this team.
Yeah, again. So if you want to point to something other than the refs, you can go with the offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wouldn't disagree with that. But it just seems like, and not seems like, it's been going on all season. Every 50-50 call they seem to get.
Yeah.
And I understand where Julian Edelman is coming from. Good teams get calls. That's one thing. Every fucking one of them?
You get a lot of them.
Every fucking one of them.
The only reason I don't like it is because I remember how people used to talk about Brady. You can't touch Brady every time.
That's a load of shit. He won 3 Super Bowls before they changed the rules. That's a load of shit.
Dude, I know. But my point is...
Well, Patrick hasn't.
Hasn't won 3 Super Bowls?
Not before they... No, after they changed the rules. In fact, now you can't... Now you can get a penalty if he decides to slide at the last minute and the 2 players don't even hit him. They hit each other.
Oh, yeah,
See the Houston Texans.
That was shitty.
Which is when Troy Aikman lost his shit, and that was the one that pushed me over the edge because that was complete garbage. And by the way, they scored on that drive. So this is the thing. These calls, when they happen, they extend drives. You can't give Patrick Mahomes extra chances. The problem is it ain't the opponent giving him the extra chances. It's the officiating, which is why everybody's bullshit. I'm not saying the Chiefs aren't a good team. I'm not saying they can't win. I would love to see the refs put the whistle away and let them decide.
Let them play. Yeah.
Just let them fucking play. I'll live with the results. Let them fucking play. But that's not happening. And by the way, it's been going all season long. People have been saying this. I was not paying attention to this until probably about week 10, week 11, when I started what are they talking about here? Because I'm thinking what he's thinking. Well, they said this shit about the Patriots. And then I started watching. Like really watching. I'm like, all right, well, that one, all right. But then it starts to add up. Okay? Every 50-50 call. I can't think of a 50-50 call they haven't got. I can't think of one.
Well, remember it was in the regular season against the Bills last year when they called dumbass Kadarius Toney offsides on that play.
He was offsides.
I know, but they never call people offsides on it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but he kept lining up. And by the way, they didn't call it every time. They eventually
called it in the biggest spot of the game.
Yeah, you know why? But they let it go like 3 or 4 times before they called it. And then they finally called it because the whole world is going. Remember, it was Herm Edwards. He'd line it up offsides. He'd line it up. That's what it was. And then finally they called it.
That's the last big call I remember that
didn't go their way, and it didn't happen right away. It was you needed a Titans moment.
Remember, Mahomes was bullshit on the sideline, just crying about it.
Yeah, I'm like Patrick. They gave it to you 3 times in a row. Maybe tell your idiot receiver to line up on sides. How many chances? Hey, by the way, that right there is favoritism towards the Chiefs. They gave you the benefit of the doubt 3 times before they called it.
Well, no, that's typically they let guys get away with it.
Once. Not 3 times in a row. No. And then finally they're like, you know what? You're an idiot.
You know what? You guys just had a play. You just had a play to win the game. Travis Kelce
you're an idiot.
did a pitch play. Up, flag. See, they fucked him.
You're an idiot.
They fucked him.
They didn't fuck him. They won the Super Bowl.
They fucked him.
So, the thing is, look, if are on paper, are the Eagles the better team? They are. They are. But that's got nothing to do with what these refs are going to do in the moment. And that's why I fear for Philly. And I'm not a Philly fan. That's why I don't like that team any more than he does. I just hate Kansas City more. And I'm sick and tired. And by the way,
I hate Philly.
And by the way, here's the other problem. Stephen A. Smith, you donkey of, and I love you, but you donkey.
What did he do?
So if Patrick Mahomes, if they three-peat, he's now the greatest quarterback ever. Because he will have done something that Tom Brady hasn't done. That's very, very, very funny you say that. Because as Tom knows, and is probably sick of it nauseum, Tom knows about the fact-finding motherfucker that I am. So when someone says something as asinine as, well, he did something Tom Brady didn't do, well, let's talk about...
There will be a feather in his cap.
Let's talk about a few things Tom Brady has done that Mr. Mahomes hasn't. And when I say a few, I am chuckling as I say that. Tom Brady currently holds 1, 2, these are things Mahomes hasn't done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I'm not halfway down the list, America. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37. 38 things this man has that Mahomes is not even halfway to.
Get the goddamn rebound.
Okay. 38. Okay. 5 Super Bowl MVPs. 7 Super Bowls. Okay. 35 playoff wins. Mahomes is halfway there now. Okay. Oh, by the way, not only did he beat him head-to-head twice, he did it with 2 different teams. He did it one time on his field, so you can't use the Eli argument because Eli never won a playoff game at Gillette Stadium. And he was over the age of 40 both times he beat him.
Let's leave Eli out of this.
Can't put him in. He's not in it. Okay? The bottom line is he's got that over him too. So if you want to sit there and say, well, they've won 4 in 6 years, the Pittsburgh Steelers won 4 in 6 years. The three-peat is the one thing he'll have.
There's no need to compare.
Oh, no, there is. Because
there is.
that's
Brady
what they're
won
doing.
7.
It's not even close.
When
He's halfway there.
When you get to 7, when you've been to 9, come see me.
10.
10.
That's
all it is. Like, to me, that's the easiest way. Like,
and by the way,
until you do that,
you should look at Brady's numbers in the games he lost.
Oh yeah, he's amazing.
Tom Brady did not lose any of these Super Bowls. Okay, so I mean, this is the thing.
And Mahomes isn't going to lose any. Like, you know, Mahomes is the same way. He's gonna play well no matter what.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Pretty much.
Although against Tampa, that Tampa
well.
D was.
But
nasty.
he had Kelsey in his prime. He had the cheetah.
Yeah,
and they couldn't
true.
get anything.
It's true.
They couldn't get
that
anything.
was a hell of a fucking defense.
I mean, they did. And Brady threw 3 touchdowns in the first half and put them away before he could even blink.
Once you're playing behind and they got those kind of linebackers.
That guy Gronk, who you got Gronk missed half his career to injury, and look, I mean, he's got 4.
Well, we lucked out in our couple against y'all.
So the point is that and Mahomes is the best player in the game right now. I'm not disputing that. Okay, although Josh Allen made a good case because that 4th down throw on that blitz
was a great throw.
I mean, and when they show the
looked
angle,
like a heave.
When they show the angle, Kincaid should have caught that ball.
Without a doubt.
I mean,
he did have a big adjustment because he was crossing the field.
He did, but
when
it
he
landed
stopped,
in the bread.
He kind of slipped.
I know, but it landed in the bread basket.
But it's like he dove for it and he put it like it hit him.
It hit him here. Like he missed. Like, what are you doing? You're a tight end.
I know. It was
like he should have caught that ball. It's not as bad as what Andrews did because that literally landed in his lap.
Yeah.
Okay,
no.
but
no,
it was
a
bad.
much more difficult.
It wasn't as easy, but it was catchable. Very catchable.
It was a good throw.
It was a good throw under extreme duress.
Yeah.
So look, you know, we've got 2 weeks to talk about this. We'll pick it next week. But
can I ask you a question here real quick?
Yeah.
This is about help side defense.
Uh-huh.
Should he be there?
He should have 1 foot in the paint, which he kind of.
So he should be there.
He should be there. Yeah.
But when Jokic makes his pass, he's late.
Well, the problem is he's not anticipating the pass. He's protecting against him. He's more worried about him going to the basket. Which, by the way,
he's flat-footed.
Okay, well, here's the other problem. He threw it without squaring up, so he wasn't ready. This is why Jokic is a great player.
Yeah.
Jokic was facing this way, and he threw it there. So he wasn't.
My thing is like
when the guy squares up, you take one more step out. But he never did that.
I guess my thing is like this. Jokic is not going to beat Cat off the dribble. He might back him down slowly.
He would back him down.
But he's not going to beat him off the dribble.
And he doesn't even really like to do that.
That's what I'm saying.
Really
So
honest.
you don't really need that guy in the paint there. You know what I'm saying?
Rule of thumb is you protect the basket first. But again, the reason he kind of got there. He was
close.
But the thing is, he didn't square up.
Yeah.
So you lose a second because he throws it from an angle you don't think he's going to throw it from.
Yeah.
And that's why that guy's a great player because that's a Magic Bird type pass.
Because I feel like the Knicks get beat a lot on cross court passes a lot.
Even without Booz, this is one.
Yeah, it's delicious because Tibbs has them playing that defense where they pack the paint.
Yeah.
But it's like so many teams don't even drive. Should they really be packing it that tightly? You know what I mean?
Good dish. Oh, you're ready to shoot that. Oh, see, he should have.
There you go, Cat. Oh, he double dribbled.
Foul. No, he fouled him. He did foul him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, on the air.
No, he called it out of bounds.
Did he knock the ball out?
Should have called the foul.
I don't know. Anyway, look, back to this. Look, I'm not saying the Chiefs aren't a great team. They are a great team. Okay, I'm not saying they shouldn't be here. I just know they've got a lot of help.
Mm-hmm.
And some 50-50 calls should go your way, and if this thing balances out, some shouldn't. That does not happen, which is what draws the ire of people. Every time it's a coin flip call, they get it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the problem. I'm not saying they don't call any penalties on them, but if we're being honest, as I said to him earlier, the Chiefs' offensive line in the last 3 Super Bowls they played in, they don't have a single holding call in three fucking games. 3 entire Super Bowls. They don't have a single holding call. And by the way, you know this because you've heard it. You watch the tapes. You could call holding on every play.
Every play.
How about once? How about once?
Yeah.
How about just once? Because no one's going to tell me that in the Chiefs' offensive line in a pass didn't hold anybody. anybody. I don't buy that. I'll never
But
buy
have
that.
you looked at other Super Bowls? Because I'm interested now to hear about, like, Patriots offensive lines. You know what I'm
The
saying?
Patriots had, in the Carolina Super Bowl, when Brady didn't have a sack, I don't think they had an offensive holding call in that Super Bowl. And one. One ain't three.
Yeah, no.
One is not three. And by the way, the reason that
Josh
didn't,
Hart is-
one of the reasons why they didn't have a holding call is because here's the reason Brady's teams don't get a lot of holding calls is because he gets the ball out in 2.3 seconds. There isn't even a
there's
chance
truth to that,
to
no
hold.
doubt,
He's got
no
the
doubt.
fastest in the history of the game. By the way, of those 39 records I was talking about, one of them was release time. He gets the ball out in like 2.2 seconds for his career.
Yeah.
So it's hard to get a holding call when the defense doesn't get 2 steps and the ball's out. Okay? But that's why Brady's who he is, because his mind is faster than everybody else's. That's the thing. So that's why. But they've had penalties in Super Bowls.
Yeah.
They had one game, Carolina, where they didn't get a single holding penalty. But that was the game where Carolina had a similar front to the Giants' awesome front four. And they kept Charlie Weiss, this was probably Charlie Weiss's best game as a coach. He kept rolling the pocket and buying Brady extra time to get, and he couldn't do that against the Giants, which I think
Because his ankle was
he was in a boot. He wouldn't, and he would not have played. Sean Merriman is the one who rolled up on his ankle. I was at that game in Foxborough, and it happened in the fourth quarter. And honestly, he wouldn't have played if it wasn't the Super Bowl. They numbed it, they gave it the needle, but he was a sitting duck for what was arguably the best front four in the game at that time.
No doubt.
Which you can't be on one leg with that group. It's like, no, it's a miracle they didn't get blown out. But the thing is, the Chiefs have gone 3 entire Super Bowls without this happening. So you wonder why fans are pissed? I mean, it's not sour grapes. Look, if one 50-50 call went against him, you'd probably keep him at bay. But then you get the obvious ones where he just dives last minute, and now you got Troy Aikman screaming it. What do you think's going to happen? And it's right there on the tape. He's not making it up. So this is why America hates the Chiefs. If you're winning and some of those calls are going against you and you're still winning, okay. But when you get every one that's a 50-50, and then every time they score, they go to Taylor. I don't hate Taylor Swift.
Why does everybody get so mad about it?
Because they go right to her.
She's adorable. What's the problem?
Football fans don't give a fuck about Taylor Swift. They don't hate her, but it's like every time something happens, they go to that box.
I mean,
you're annoying that
I
gets
don't mind
over.
looking at her.
You're in the
She's
minority.
cute.
You're in the minority.
And last time she had Caitlyn with her.
That doesn't help.
And people are like, fucking Caitlyn Clark now, too.
I love Caitlin Clark. That's got nothing to do with it. Okay,
Two of the most famous people in the world.
Truth be told, I love Taylor Swift, but I don't turn on football to watch Taylor Swift.
Well, you're not watching.
And I was saying, by the way, I was saying this 2 years ago. It's only gotten more annoying now.
Everybody was saying it 2 years ago.
I was like, all right.
Everybody hated it.
One
2 years ago.
game, 8 times. Regular season game.
I don't mind it.
8 fucking
I like
times.
that. I'm a Taylor.
Travis Kelce didn't catch the ball 8 times in that game, but yet there's Taylor. No, doesn't. No.
I'd rather look. If we're going to talk about fans, I'd rather look at Taylor Swift for 10 years in a row than all these fucking Go Birds fans. Oh my god!
I don't want to see them.
Two of the
either.
most annoying words I've ever heard in my life is Go Birds.
Actually, Fly Eagles Fly is probably the most annoying.
Yuck!
It's so annoying.
Go Birds is just so gone.
It's just so you're such a loser, and the fact that you say it with any kind of vigor makes you even a bigger loser. Like, just please, it's pathetic. I mean,
I say all this while I'm wearing eagle green. It's a nice green though.
That's New York Jet green.
Okay, yes.
Let's be clear.
Or Celtic.
Well, by the way, the New York Jets have a new coach. And I wanted to ask you. We haven't talked about
Aaron
this.
Glenn.
What do you think about this hire? He was a Jet.
He was a
right?
Jet.
Yeah, pretty good when he was
a
there.
Jet. They drafted him.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What does your dad think? Did you and your dad talk?
I haven't talked to my dad about it.
I was curious about what your dad thought.
I doubt he knows that much about Aaron Glenn, though.
He knows he played for them. He probably saw him.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's fine. You know, the last memory is the bed shitting in Detroit, where that defense gave up all those points. But again, that offense turned the ball over 5 fucking times, and it was injury laden the whole year for that defense. So I've heard, you know, I listen to New York sports every morning, and they talk about this too much with how shitty the Jets are. Like, the Knicks will have a great game. They open with the Jets, and I'm just like, are you kidding me? But, you know, the one thing they talked about is, like, it's a really tough place to GM, to coach, and you just brought in a rookie head coach and a rookie GM. Yeah. Or maybe Aaron Glenn had some coaching experience.
He's been coaching.
I know, but I'm saying like head coaching.
Has he been a head coach?
Maybe he was a head coach somewhere.
We should
look
that up. I'm curious. You may be right.
Inexperienced GM, inexperienced head coach. Yeah. And they did the same thing with Saleh and the last GM. You know, it was like first time. Yeah. But I don't know. You know, he said the right things in the press conference. They asked him about Aaron Rodgers, and he was like, "Look, we're going to evaluate everything." Yeah. And he didn't tell him shit.
And he shouldn't.
Right.
Because he honestly probably doesn't know. He just got his foot in the building.
He just hired Steve Wilks.
Who is Steve Wilks?
So
I've heard the name.
He's a pretty respected defensive coordinator. I think he was a head coach in Arizona at one point.
Yeah.
Older guy. Yeah. So, who knows what the fuck will happen.
See, the thing about the Jets is, from a talent perspective, they're not far away.
No.
They're really not. This isn't where the Patriots have to flip half the roster.
No,
the Jets aren't in that
boat. The Jets is a culture and a coaching type of thing.
This is all about...
And a quarterback.
Here's my other question. Because I know they're picking further. The Giants are third. They're not going to get one of these guys.
They're going to have to go free agent.
I mean, this is, again, free agency starts, by the way, right after the Super Bowl, I think.
Is it right after?
I don't know if it's right after, but that week after or something. But free agency will be done before the draft, which is in April. So it's going to be first. If you're the Jets, we already talked about the Giants, what I believe they should do. Mm-hmm. But if you're the Jets, I would think it's a similar thing.
Yeah, except you don't have to take such a chance on a guy. You could get somebody.
You try and think about what quarterbacks are out there that are worth. And again, you got to wait and see what these teams do. Like, what's Minnesota going to do with this kid from Michigan? I mean, because if you're the Jets,
you can't bring Darnold back, can you?
Not him. I think if the kid, if Minnesota signs Darnold,
they're not.
Why not? He had a hell of a year.
I know,
one
but
bad game.
No, I'm not saying they're like done with Darnold.
It was his first playoff.
I'm not saying they're done with Darnold, but
they won 14 games, man.
Right.
No one had them winning more than 7.
But my point is, I could see them giving him a short-term deal and keeping McCarthy.
Okay, I'm just saying.
What I'm saying?
Yeah. Because McCarthy's on his rookie contract. You don't got to do anything with him.
And he didn't. Yeah. He was injured the whole season, so he could use another year.
Oh, he's a rookie, basically.
Yeah, he's definitely a rookie. But I could be wrong. People have said they might just go with JJ.
Well, again, potentially there might be a couple of options here. I'm just saying.
You're talking about trading for McCarthy if he's available?
Well, if you're the Jets and you need a quarterback, again, I don't know. He's got to sit down and talk with Rodgers.
Yeah.
And I would say this.
Would you bring him back?
Not with a rookie head coach, I wouldn't.
Yeah, it's too much.
To your point about building culture, how do you build a culture with a 41-year-old egomaniac in the locker room?
Who's trying to be the focal point of everything?
I mean, I think I've been vindicated on Aaron Rodgers tenfold.
You were right.
I think I nailed that one. I think I pulled a poppy on that one. It hasn't landed yet. Okay, so
actually, no, there it is.
No, still going.
I just saw it hit.
Yep. Yeah,
I just saw it hit.
Yeah, it hit Jupiter.
Yeah, touchdown.
touchdown in Saturn's rings.
Touchdown. I'm not sure what that galaxy is, but
I mean, the point is like, if you're bringing it to your point about a young rookie head coach, he has to establish culture, and how does he do that with an Aaron Rodgers in the building?
And everything has to start with him.
Yeah, you can't.
And Aaron's just not that type of personality. He's gonna be hallelujah.
Now let me ask you this, because they have him technically. Is he under contract for one more year?
I think he could. Like if they said, "Hey, we want you for another year,"
no, but they could trade him to a contender. Because think about this: what if you are San Francisco? And you're not sold on Purdy because he kind of knows that.
Oh, God, I don't know.
But that team is kind of ready to win. If you're San Fran, do you take Rodgers for a year and see if he gets you over the hump? I'm not saying trade for Purdy. Maybe you trade Rodgers for like a second or third round draft pick.
I think I'd rather have Purdy.
Well, he is younger.
I think he's played better. Although I guess he didn't have a great year this year.
He kind of, when he faced adversity, he didn't handle it very well. Porzingis 29-8. Look, it's an interesting question.
Yeah.
I think the offensive line has got. I don't care who your quarterback is. They got to fix. They have the same problem the Giants and the Patriots have. You got to fix the damn offensive line.
Well, you know what Boomer said.
No.
Boomer Esiason.
No.
So that's who I listen to. Boomer and G.
I like Boomer. Boomer knows his shit.
He does.
He's pretty spot.
But he said the most important hire, after of course the coordinators, is the offensive line coach.
I 100% agree with him.
And he was like,
yes, I agree 100%.
He was like, if you don't get that right.
You don't have an offense.
Yeah, you're fucked. Yeah. And
I agree with that.
And the offensive line coach has to have some sort of working relationship
with the coordinator.
With the offensive coordinator.
Yes. Well, usually the offensive coordinator is the one who hires him.
Right.
Usually.
Right.
When things are done right, that's how it happens.
Yeah.
So
I mean, if you hire an offensive coordinator and trust that person to run the offense, they should.
They should.
Now, of course, the coach can have input, and be a part of that process.
Did the Jets? Did they clean house on the coaching staff? Did they have the coordinator back?
No, they cleaned house.
Okay,
remember, because it was Nathaniel Hackett.
Yeah, he's gone.
And he was already gone in the season.
So I'm assuming
defensive coordinator gone.
They're going to let what's his nuts? The kid
Glenn
hire the offensive coordinator.
I would think so because so here's the other part. They hired the GM after the coach, so the coach is the alpha. It's similar to like
Vrabel.
Yeah, it's similar to Vrabel.
Yeah.
They're giving him more power. He helped interview the new GM.
Yep. Which I happen to agree with, by the way, because they've got to be on the same page. If the coach and the GM are not, it never works.
Yeah.
Look at what happened to Vrabel in Tennessee. It fell apart.
Right.
And trust.
But sometimes, the old way was bringing the GM first, and he brings the personnel in.
He brings the coach in that works with him.
Right.
Look,
it's weird to do it backwards.
But the thing is, the problem is now that there's a lot of new and young, fresh blood in the management ranks in this league. A lot of these guys have aged out. So that's why I brought up Scott Pioli, because he's still out there, and he built Atlanta into a contender, and he built two teams into Super Bowl.
But how long ago was he? Like, when's the last time he GM'd? I guess
I don't know. I don't know where he went after Atlanta. I think he went to Texas, the Texans, and helped them. Pioli's pretty much been good everywhere he's been. So if I'm the Jets, see, this is the thing about the Giants, and that's why the whole because to me, Scott Pioli can hit the ground running. He doesn't need a lot of time. He's done it so many times. If I'm the Giants or the Jets, I'm making a phone call.
The Giants are dumb.
The
Giants are sticking with the same old bullshit for the past 3 years.
If you want to give Daboll another shot with a QB he chooses, okay, I can buy that. But this GM that they've had has fucked up this roster.
Yeah.
I don't know how he's still.
And
Saquon Barkley should have been the final straw.
He's had 3 drafts. One was pretty good. This last one was pretty good. The first 2 were terrible.
And he let Saquon walk.
Right, he let Saquon walk.
Fireable.
He let Xavier McKinney walk, who went and had a great season in Green Bay.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's. I could talk myself to death about it.
I know. I'm just saying that and maybe the Giants have done this. I don't know. Maybe they called Pioli and he wasn't interested. I don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know what happened. They're never going to tell you everything. Yeah. But I'm just saying that as far as I know, Scott Pioli's not a GM anymore right now. He's consulting. So, and he was in New York before with Belichick and Parcells. He was young then. So I think he's been in the Giants organization before. And
we're now watching the worst bench in the league try to stave off Denver.
The Denver's bench is much better, but the 2 best players are out there.
Yeah, the starters are in.
The 2 all-stars are still on the floor.
We still have a couple of our starters.
Yeah,
we got OG and.
But anyway, we're going to take a break.
Hold on.
What?
I wanted to talk a little bit about the Commanders-Eagles game.
Okay.
Because. And it's been talked about. We don't need to talk about it, but you and I really haven't had a conversation because we didn't get to watch that game. We're at, the boys' basketball game, girls' soccer game, so we didn't see what happened.
How many turnovers did the Commanders have?
At least 3, 4. Yeah.
That's the ball game right there.
But dude, in the first quarter, Commanders get the ball. I think they had like an 18-play drive,
They went down the field and scored.
An incredible drive. But I kind of want to go back and look at it because this is where I feel like Dan Quinn.
I think it was an 18-play drive.
Shit the bed.
Because then the Eagles had a 1-play drive.
Exactly.
I was like, and it was the guy we were screaming about.
It's just so embarrassing.
It's embarrassing when you know. But again, now.
No, that was bad tackling. It was bad everything.
Everything.
Bad technique. Everything.
If I am the Commanders, I am drafting defense. I'm drafting defense. That's what I'm doing. I'm drafting defense. I looked over the top 20 players, 25 players, because mock drafts are coming out everywhere, and Georgia has like 3 defensive guys in the top 15, and I mean, there's a lot of defensive talent, a lot of good edge rushers and all that stuff.
Okay, so I want to go through the first drive.
You're going to go play by
play? Not play by play, okay. But just this is a drive that ends in a field goal.
Yeah.
So 65-yard kickoff, whatever. The Washington starts on their 30. Okay. It goes first down, second down, third down. They make a first down. Okay. First down, second down, third down. They make a first down. Mm-hmm. First down, second down, third down. 4th and 5 at the Philly 43. They go for it. They convert.
They get it.
First down, second down, third down. 4th and 2 at the Philly 28. They go for it. They get it. Mm-hmm. First down, second down, third down. 4th and 3 at the Philly 16. They kick a field goal. What are you doing?
4th and 3?
4th and 3. They went for it. Now, mind you, they went for it on 4th and 5 and 4th and 2. Then they get 4th and 3 and they kick a field goal. To me, that is outside of what you're like. You have all this momentum.
Well, you haven't scored yet.
Right.
It's 0-0.
No, you haven't scored yet, but this is how you put Detroit on their heels. You have a chance. Imagine if they go for it, they get it, and they punch him in the mouth, score a touchdown right there.
Well, the field goal didn't. I don't think the field goal killed them, though.
The field goal didn't kill them.
The defense, or lack thereof, on the assuming. But
explain that to me.
Well, I would say when you're on the road and you're kind of, the law of averages on 4th down, because the more you go for it, at some point you're not going to get it. And it was early in the game. It was 0-0. Philly hadn't touched the ball yet. So you get the lead. You go up 3-0. I had 2 problems with this, and it wasn't so much they.
I don't get that. To me, that's getting outside of what you're good at.
They could have. How many times did they go for it in the game?
What do you mean?
Well, how many total? If you go to team stats in that game, it tells you how many 4th down times they attempted, and how many times they got it throughout the entire game.
Yeah, but after that, the game was over.
No, it wasn't.
Because it goes
7-3. It's not over.
Well, no. So here's what happens. It goes. Saquon's first touch.
Gone.
60 yards. Gone. And there's a bunch of bumbling boobs everywhere. Like it was a comedy act. Then, next kickoff, 4 plays and then a fumble.
There's turnover. They are. Here's where it gets
Then Philly scores a touchdown.
Turnover. Where was the turnover, by the way? In their half of the 50, right?
Yeah, it was a 4-play, 18-yard drive, and then they turned it over.
So Philly got it on their half in Washington territory. Yeah. So that's big mistake number 1. See, it's bad enough to have a turnover. You can't have it in your end on the road. That's one mistake.
Then they had another drive. Let's see this one, because then they got the ball back. It's 14-3 now. It goes first down, second down, third down, 4th and 6. They punt it. But the punter, they do a fake punt, and they throw it and they get it. So again, they go for it on 4th.
All right, so that's 3 out of
a fake punt. Okay.
Well, they were down 14-3. At that point, you got to gamble.
Well, now you're desperate.
Yeah, you got to gamble. Well, again, if they didn't turn the ball inside, you can't do that.
That's true. That's true.
You know why they did that? Because they turned the ball over and gave up 6. Yeah. So they're like, shit, we have to do something.
So then they go first down, second down. Convert, get a first down. Mm-hmm. First down, second down, third down, 4th and 10, they kick a 46-yard field goal.
Okay. So, look, I understand to a point why you say what you say. But, again, when you look at law of averages, you're on the road, you've got to get points when you can. Field goals don't hurt you, especially early in the game. The subsequent one-play drive and then the turnover that came right after it is the problem. If Dan Quinn knew those 2 things were going to happen, he probably would have gone for it. So I don't think he knew that.
To me, it's just weird because
I'm not absolving him of things. I'm just saying
maybe it's not a shit the bed spot.
I don't think it is, but to me, I think his players shit the bed more than anything else with the turnover and the terrible tackle.
Sure,
to your
point,
no doubt.
But to me, it's like this is what you do. You go for it on 4. You don't give a fuck. Jaden Daniels doesn't give a fuck.
Nobody
let him go.
Nobody has done this yet, and maybe the Chiefs will, because Spagnuolo is like, he's not Belichick, but I can see him doing this. They're up 7.
Good fight.
Yeah, the bench is holding their own. You better make that. Oh my God! What the hell are you doing? That was a Celtics play.
That's our bench. That's our bench.
You don't take that shot.
Take a fucking shot when you're a bench player.
Yeah, you don't take a shot from 28 feet and miss the rim.
You're not fucking Michael Jordan.
No, you're not. You're not Bird, Larry, Steph. You're not in that.
You're literally campaign.
You don't do that. That's an offensive foul. Oh, they called it.
Nice.
Yeah, he was a
That was him. He made up for it.
Oh, he made up for it. All right. Well, at least he made up for it.
Yeah.
Look, the point is this. Until someone decides that Saquon Barkley is not going to beat them, and maybe that will be the Chiefs.
Spagnuolo. He's the one.
You've heard me say on occasion, 6'2" stack monkey, 6'2" stack monkey. You don't know what that is because you never saw All the Right Moves, which is a football movie from 19.
I also never played organized football.
Yeah, well, 6'2" stack monkey is you put 6 men in the line of scrimmage, so everybody but the center has a hat on a hat. 6 guys in the line of scrimmage, and you have 2 linebackers behind. It's like 8 in the box, basically. And you have 2 corners and a safety over the top. Now, in the modern game, which you'd probably do if you had 6 down linemen, is you'd have 5 defensive backs. You'd still have 6 people on the line of scrimmage. If I were drawing up a game plan against Philly, this is what I would do.
Yeah.
I'd put 6 the biggest motherfuckers we have on the roster. I'd put 6 of them up there so there's nowhere to go, and then I'd have 5 defensive backs running around in the secondary. And I'd say, he is not beating us. Right. But if you have 5 defensive backs, you can still match up.
Yeah.
I have not seen, some people would call this like a goal line D, but usually there's linebackers behind it. I wouldn't do that. I'd go 5 defensive backs. That is what I would do. Or maybe.
Including safeties.
I'd have 2 safeties and 3 cornerbacks out there. I'd have 6 defensive linemen, or 4 defensive linemen and 2 defensive ends. That is what I would do. I'd say he is not beating us. You're going to have to throw it against a nickel secondary, and we're going to double one of these 2, and you're going to have to figure out which one it is. Okay? So, because honestly, if you don't do that, look at what he's done.
Yeah, he'll kill you.
And this is why, again, the Chiefs should not be within 10 points of this team. But we said that 2 years ago. And the defense, which actually Philly's defense had broke the record for sacks, they didn't touch them. They wet themselves.
Some of that was the quick release shit.
Yeah, but some of it was poor defensive strategy. It was like, first of all,
they were crying about the field. Remember?
They didn't have the cheetah. He had left. Okay, so what you do is you bump and run Kelsey. You play man to man on Kelsey with your fastest linebacker, and you have safety help over the top. You probably have to cushion Worthy because he's quick. Okay, after those 2. That's what you do. But again, the Chiefs don't run the ball. They're a decent running team. They're not great. They're not great. They're decent.
Yeah, what's his face?
Pacheco,
yeah.
He's good. He's not great.
Has he been injured this year?
He ran pretty well against Buffalo. Buffalo's D, I don't think.
Kareem Hunt was actually running better.
I thought that Buffalo's D did a good job on Kelsey. They took him out of the game. They did do that. All
day, you can't guard your cat.
I'm just saying that, to me, if I'm Philly against them, you've got to spy Mahomes. This is where Buffalo fucked up. How are they not spying Patrick Mahomes?
Yeah.
Like they did it it was the 3rd quarter. He already had 5 runs, but they finally spied him, and they stopped him. That's just stupid football. You have to spy Patrick Mahomes because he often uses his legs in the playoffs. He saves his legs for the playoffs. That's his history, which is where the Buffalo coaching staff gets an F. Because how the fuck did you not know that?
On all the biggest plays.
Any 3rd and 7. Or 3rd and 5, he's going to roll out and with a run-pass option,
and he'll make you choose.
And if your defensive ends don't contain him, if he breaks contain, you better have a spy or you're fucked. And they didn't. The one time they spotted him, they got him for a loss.
Yeah,
but they didn't. You should have been doing that the whole game.
See, Boomer said the thing they do better than anyone is they run the pick play without picking.
Well, by the way, you know what you do it? That's a basketball term. Switch.
Yeah.
To switch.
It's hard to switch it in football, I feel like.
It's not.
No?
Nope. It's crossing routes.
You rarely see them do it.
Because there's...
Right?
Here's the problem.
Like, I feel like you don't see that
The
much
reason
in the
they
NFL.
don't do it is because it's usually a linebacker on Travis Kelce, and they don't think the linebacker can stay with the receiver. Yeah. So here's what you do with that. You still switch it, but whoever you're switching off of, that is the guy where the help goes to. If it's the safety or whoever, you pick up that switch. So if he outruns him, the safety is still there. Mm-hmm. That's what you have to do. And then you've got to get to him. And by the way, 2 years ago, Philly had the front four to get to him. And they couldn't. Yeah, and again, this is where there was no stunts, there was no blitz, you've got to mix it up. You can't just run vanilla coverage against the Patrick Mahomes. They'll carve you up. They played a base.
That defense is going to be ready this time.
They better be, because honestly, they're not. This offense is not as good as it was 2 years ago. And Philly's is better because they didn't have Saquon Barkley 2 years ago, and they put up 35 points without him. So honestly, if Philly just doesn't turn the ball over and run, they should beat this team by at least 10 points.
They're better than them, yeah.
They are better than them, but they were better than them 2 years ago. They found a way to blow it.
I remember picking the game 2 years ago, being like, I don't see how Kansas City wins this game.
It was if they turned the ball over. They had won.
Just one.
That shouldn't have been the difference.
No.
Because people forget that Jalen Hurts thoroughly outplayed Mahomes in that game.
Without a doubt.
He was the best player on the field.
He had that
it
one
wasn't Patrick
fumble.
Mahomes. He threw 4 touchdown passes.
Yeah.
And over 300 yards. He thoroughly outplayed. Even with the mistake, he outplayed
He was
Mahomes.
awesome in that
He
game.
outplayed Mahomes by a country mile.
I thought he was going to go on to be like an amazing quarterback for the next 10 years, and he kind of sputtered a little bit.
Well, they're back 2 years later.
Yes.
I mean, they can, if they win this, there you go. He's on trajectory.
I know. I haven't seen him play like that much since then.
No.
Maybe it's because of how the offense is.
Well,
he doesn't even have to do it.
Nobody has stopped Saquon Barkley.
Yeah.
So if Philly does have the best offensive line in the league, which I believe they do, I think Joel's right about that.
That's easy.
Then Kansas City has to do the 6'2" stack monkey.
Dude, and they also have one of the best D lines.
They do.
I mean,
the guy in the trenches they have it.
Oh my God.
Chris Jones is the only reason this is even a conversation. You take him out.
That's how good Chris Jones is.
Yeah,
he is that fucking good. Because when you think about
he's Richard Seymour good.
Really,
people forget how great Richard Seymour was.
And it's kind of in a similar way because Seymour wasn't this star name.
Oh, he was. He was the 5th pick in the draft.
No, but I'm saying
everybody knew who he was. Out of Georgia.
I know, but I don't know. It's similar to me to Chris Jones in that actually he doesn't
Seymour
get as much hype as he should.
Not because of Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
And Seymour had Brady. But everybody who knows football knows that Richard Seymour was the best down lineman of that era.
Yeah.
He made 5 all-pro first teams. And by the way, he played in a 3-4 where he had a 2-gap. Do you understand? I know you don't understand.
Nobody
but
understands.
2-gapping like Vince Wilfork. 2-gap. These guys could 2-gap. That means you know what that means?
Was the size of 2 fridges.
But the thing is,
Seymour wasn't like that, right?
6'6", 320 pounds.
He was?
He was a monster. Go look.
Why does Wilfork seem so much bigger?
He's wider.
That's what I mean. He's like 2 fridges. Seymour was like solid.
Seymour was 6'6", 320 pounds. Vince Wilfork was 6'2", 307 pounds.
Oh my God.
And he was mobile.
Remember when he picked that ball off?
Yeah.
Fucking.
Yeah. Vince Wilfork was a freak athlete.
Yeah, he was.
But the thing is, Jones is like Seymour.
Yeah.
He is. I don't think he's as big as Seymour.
He's strong.
But Seymour would play in a 3-4. Jones doesn't play in a 3-4. Seymour could 2-gap and play in a 3-4. Yeah. Seymour was more versatile. But the thing is, Jones is just as dominant from the 4 spot in a 4-down lineman set. But Philly has the best line in the game.
Yeah.
So, and again, the best way to beat a guy like that, I don't know why they don't take the Dallas approach. Run right at him and hit him with a tight end too. Mm-hmm. They got a good tight end, Philly. Run right at him and beat him up.
Yeah.
The best way to beat a guy like that is to beat him up. Take the fight to him.
Dude, Philly has good players everywhere.
They should win this game. They should. Let's be honest. But we both, you know why we're both hesitating? It's not Patrick Mahomes. It's not even Spagnuolo. It's what are the refs going to do on these 50-50 calls?
I don't think that's going to bring
It's happened. It's happened.
But see, to me,
I
think Philly's better than winning by just a couple 50-50 balls. I think they're that much better.
We thought that 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And yet the Chiefs didn't have a single against that defensive front, which had set. Think about this. Here's when this started. That defensive front set the record for sacks in the season. The Chiefs didn't have one holding penalty in the whole game. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. You can talk about coaching all you want. Fuck you. Okay? The greatest front 4 in terms of ever, not one bullshit. Bullshit. I call Major League steaming pile of dung on that. And by the way, in the 2 cents, they haven't got a holding call. So I'm not making it up. You can look it up. Okay, so anyway, we're going to take a break. We're going to come back segment 2. We've got to talk some college hoops. VCU, first place. Duke, Carolina on the horizon. Rivalry renewed. And we will also talk Celtics, Knicks. Looks like the Knicks are going to win this one.
They just went on a quick
But we will follow up with you on the other side of that real quick. Segment 2 coming right up. And the new computer is glorious.
Oh, it's alive and kicking.